Hey, welcome back everyone. So this is going to be another episode, and for this video I'm going to be talking about fasting. So fasting and intermittent fasting is becoming a much more popular topic these days, especially intermittent fasting. The background of this will determine your outlook and maybe what decision you make. So if you are basing your beliefs on Christianity and God and creation, or if you are basing your belief background on evolution. So if you believe in evolution, fasting will come in with Paleolithic beings, and you ate once a day in your cave and you had to go hunting and catch your food, which is an interesting idea because we are not made to hunt. We don't have the claws, we don't have the teeth, we don't have the good hearing, we are not as fast as any animal. All animals can outrun us. So we are not built to be hunters. Our digestive system is also a digestive system of a herbivore, not of a carnivore. Our digestive systems are much longer. It has a different pH in our stomachs. So we are built more for a herbivorous diet rather than a carnivorous diet. So just a short little proof, I also have a video on that. So if you come from the basis of creation, we were created in a garden to eat fruit and nuts and seeds and all of the things that come from plants. That makes a little bit more sense because that's how our bodies are created. We are not, our physiology is not made to eat a carnivorous diet. It's if you look at our physiology, our biology, how our teeth is formed, how everything works, how digestion works, the acidity of our stomachs, how long our intestines and our colon and all these parts are, the hormones we secrete, the insulin, the pancreas, how all of this works together is similar to a herbivore. It's not similar to a carnivore. The body works differently. So what is meant to go in, according to our physiology, is a herbivorous diet focusing on fruits, vegetables, plant-based materials. So that includes also ocean vegetables, which we also need. That's a topic for another video. So getting into fasting, please stay toward the end. I will give you some tips and tricks on how to fast as well, and how much we should fast and how long, and then what you can do when you come off the fast, because that's also important. So first I'll talk about the intricacies of fasting, why it's beneficial, and how the body reacts to fasting. So first, fasting is good for your immunity, for your immune system. So our immune system has, in basic parts, it has two systems, the innate and the adaptive immunity. So the innate is the immediate or quick response immune system. It has cytokines, pro-inflammatory markers, and chemokines. I'm not going to go into detail on this. Then the adaptive immune response is more of a sustained effect. It also includes the memory, so your B cells, your T and B lymphocytes, and it's built to destroy this pathogen more easily in the future as well. So you build up a memory, and next time you have that pathogen, it's easier for your body to kill it. So then you also have something called autophagy, which is a cell surveillance system which breaks down dysfunctional, lethal, mutated cells and invaders. So this is an important concept and an important part of fasting. Then fasting also makes you more resistant to stress. It supports your immune system, as I've mentioned. It slows aging through activating the FOX2 gene. So it helps to activate the genes that prolong your life and prolong or elongate, keep your telomeres long. And it also keeps the connections in your brain firing, the synaptic firing between your cells. It keeps that going as well. So let's look at how it does this. So it increases autophagy fasting. It switches it on. It also helps cellular regeneration. It decreases inflammation through activating antioxidant channels, like this FOX2 gene, which is activated. So the FOX2 gene is the same gene that gets activated with turmeric. So turmeric also activates that. So that's a potent antioxidant and anti-inflammatory gene, which switches on those channels. Then it also increases your protein production. So production in your body, not consuming. Your body makes and can make proteins. It also increases hormone production, and it also promotes cellular repair, thus prolonging longevity and slowing aging. So I'm also going to talk about COVID and fasting. So I've told you about how fasting is beneficial to your body. So next, I'm going to talk about specifically COVID-19 and fasting. So we know now that fasting is beneficial to your body. Maybe let me just mention a few more facts why fasting is good. It promotes gluconeogenesis. It helps to balance out your liver glucose. It helps to liberate your vitamins and minerals and your fat stores that's stored in your fat. So it helps to bring those out and use them so that they're not just stored. And it increases your stem cell production. Your stem cell production is stimulated, your cellular regeneration is stimulated through fasting. And you are also kind of down regulating the mTOR. So mTOR, if that is high, it decreases your autophagy. So it stops the lethal, mutated, and damaged or dysfunctional cells from being apoptosed or eaten or destroyed. So when mTOR is low in a fasting state, it will lower your mTOR. That will increase autophagy, and then mutated, dysfunctional, lethal, damaged cells can be removed from your body. So these damaged and mutated cells are what cause cancer, disease, and general dysfunction in your body. So if you can remove them, you will be healthier. So fasting helps to do that as well. Fasting also increases your SIRT1 molecules, which increases gene expression. They also bind to the histones on your DNA, which can then untwist your DNA and lead to DNA replication and protein expression. So healthier gene expression, healthier DNA replication. It also will help balance your NAD to NADH ratio, which is determined while you are eating or not eating, and this leads to a better expression of your hormones. So I'm just looking at my notes here. So it also helps to increase your acetoacetic acid production and your beta-hydroxy butyric acid. So those are important because an increase in hydrobutyrate production will lead to a decrease in inflammation by blocking the NLRP3 inflammatory pathway. So this is also another inflammatory pathway which is being blocked. So therefore increasing that anti-inflammatory effect and modulating and helping to support your immune system. So let's go into COVID-19 a little bit. So COVID-19 is an inflammatory disease. So I've talked about the anti-inflammatory benefits of fasting. So I talked about that because of this specific response that COVID-19 elicits in your body. So COVID-19 binds to the ACE2 receptor in your alveolar cells, predominantly your lung and your alveolar cells, and it takes over the host cell machinery and multiplies itself, which induces inflammation, increases your macrocytes and your monocytes, which can lead to damage to your lung tissue. So normally in a healthy person, that will subside quickly, that inflammatory response will subside and you'll recover and your body will eliminate the disease. But in severe cases, this inflammation will continue. So this inflammatory pathway has been switched on and it will keep going, it will keep being switched on. So it leads to autoimmune dysfunction and a cytokine storm. So your interleukin beta 1, 2, 6, 7, 10, IP10, tumor necrosis factor, alpha, MCP, GM, CSF, all of those are upregulated. They're all inflammatory cytokines, so they are proliferating. They are becoming more and more and more, making this autoimmune cytokine storm increase. So your lungs, the inflammation is going to spread, get more and more and more, and it leads to pulmonary edema. It can lead to multi-organ failure and ARDS, which is a respiratory dysfunction syndrome. So that is what COVID-19 in a nutshell can do. It's an inflammatory disease that causes inflammation, and this proliferation of inflammation that continues and continues and continues and gets worse and worse and worse. So if you can get your adaptive response, your adaptive immunity to respond, then it will reduce the inflammation, neutralize the virus. So it will help your adaptive, your cell-mediated, and your humoral immune responses to eliminate the COVID-19 virus. So you also have something that's called an antigen-presenting cell. So these are macrophages and dendritic cells, which are part of your immune system. They present the virus to your T cells, your T immune cells, through something that's called human leukocyte antigen, HLA. So it's presenting this virus cell to your immune system, and your immune system will then destroy it or eat it or get rid of it. Then your T cell activation, it is activated through multiple responses from cell-mediated and humoral immunity. So your adaptive response will lead to this increase in cell-mediated and humoral immunity, which will lead to more T cells, which leads to more antigen-presenting cells presenting the virus, and then leading to more virus death. So your T cells, you have CD8 cells and CD4 cells. So CD8 cells destroy the virus directly, and CD4 cells prime or support the CD8 cells. And your B cells are your memory cells, your memory immune cells. So your CD4 cells can be divided into two parts, Th1 and Th2. So Th1 has natural killer cells and memory B cells. So natural killer cells are killer cells. So when it's the antigen, the virus is presented, the killer cells will kill that virus. So you want that to be high. Then the Th2 creates an antibody, creates antibodies, and then your memory against this virus. So the next time, it's easier to kill and to gather that virus, present it, and kill it. So that's how your body will try to get rid of this COVID-19. So I mentioned the NLRP3, which is an inflammatory channel that fasting and beta-hydroxybutyric acid can decrease. So COVID-19 activates this inflammatory cascade or inflammatory channel, the NLRP3. So it increases inflammation. It's persistent inflammation that leads to tissue damage. So you want this inflammation to decrease. So as I mentioned, turmeric and fasting activate the FOX2 gene. So this gene activates anti-inflammatory, antioxidant pathways, and fasting will also lead to the decrease of NLRP3 inflammatory pathway, which COVID-19 will increase. Then autophagy. So autophagy, as I mentioned, is cell surveillance, and it destroys damaged and mutated cells that could cause cancer and disease. So autophagy is increased in fasting. So autophagy will destroy these cells, and it will change these cells into sugars, glucose that your body can use, and amino acids and fatty acids. So you are not eating, you are fasting, but your body is going to destroy these harmed cells, these dysfunctional cells, to create energy for you. So it's a win-win. You are not eating, your body will make glucose, amino acids, fatty acids for you. And where does it get it from? It gets it from these mutated, damaged, and dysfunctional cells. So it's a win-win for your body. So autophagy will also increase the antigen presentation. So this presenting of damaged and virus and pathogenic cells for your body to destroy. And it will also help to modulate immunity through the natural killer cells, T and B cells upregulation. So it will increase the production of T cells, CD4, CD8 cells, your B memory cells, and your natural killer cells. So there'll be more cells wanting to kill or produce amino acids, fatty acids, glucose from these dysfunctional cells. So they will also increase antibody release and phagocytosis, which is this eating or programmed cell death, eating of damaged cells. Okay. So you want autophagy, you want more and more and more of it. When you are eating, your mTOR goes up and your autophagy comes down. So mTOR is needed to stimulate and help digestion. So the more there is, the more autophagy is depressed because you have energy, you have amino acids, you have fatty acids, so your body doesn't need to make it. You are getting it through your food, so your body's not going to make it. So as soon as you shut off that channel, your mTOR decreases, your autophagy increases, your body starts making the nutrients for itself. That's why we also need a good gut bacteria. So your microbiome needs to be in a good condition. I'll talk about that in the next video. So look out for that one as well, your gut microbiome. So autophagy also promotes antibody maturation, survival, and proliferation of your CD4 and CD8 cells. So it helps to make more of them and help them to live longer lives as well. Okay, so with caloric restriction or fasting, you are increasing autophagy, you are decreasing your mTOR, you are increasing antigen presentation, you are increasing your programmed cell death, you are eliminating dysfunctional, damaged, mutated cells, which include cancerous cells and potentially harmful cells. And this can happen within your optimal time is 36 hours to 3 days, but you can do 24-hour fast or even a 7-day fast. 7-day fasts, it would highly recommend to do that with the help and guidance of a nutritional professional or a health professional who can guide you and monitor you through 7 days. But a 36-hour or a 3-day fast, they're not as severe, and you should be able to do that with yourself with the support of your family and people who can encourage you and help you to do that. So fasting for that amount of time will switch on these beneficial genes. It will help your body to create its own glucose, amino acids, fatty acids. It will break down some of your fat stores. It will decrease inflammation. It will increase your insulin sensitivity. It will promote cellular resistance to stress, because it's like a muscle. Exercise a muscle, it becomes stronger. You let your body go through a period of fasting, it becomes stronger. It becomes better at adapting to these situations, and it adapts to handle stress better. It will also decrease the cytokines, the inflammatory cytokines like tumor necrosis factor and the interleukins. It will also decrease oxidative stress because autophagy has been increased, so they are eliminating the oxidants. They are eliminating the dysfunctional cells. And you'll also increase your adaptive cellular stress response. So your body gets better at handling stress. And we have so much stress around us. There's noise stress, air pollution stress, water pollution stress. There's all these stresses coming in and toxins coming into our bodies. So our bodies will get better at handling this stress. So this is all done through fasting. So also you'll decrease fat mass, which will decrease your inflammatory markers in your body, because fat can lead to inflammation. You'll also decrease the circulating leukocytes, so the inflammatory cytokines. You'll also decrease leptin, you'll increase adiponectin, which is the breakdown, which will break down your fat. You'll decrease fat deposition, and you'll increase your fat usage. And as I also mentioned, you'll increase your beta hydroxybutyrate, which will decrease inflammation by blocking the NLRP3 inflammatory pathway. So fasting can lead to a decrease in inflammation. So as COVID-19 is an inflammatory disease, fasting can decrease the inflammation. So if you are a high-risk person or high-risk patient, I would recommend doing a 36 to 3-day fast to prepare your body to fight any inflammation that comes in. But that also goes together with a general healthy lifestyle, which includes adequate water intake, adequate sunshine, exposure to sunshine, eating all of your fruits and veg and nuts and seeds, and your herbivorous foods. Also getting enough vitamin C, D, and zinc to combat disease. Meditation can also help. Meditating on scripture, that has been shown to increase your body's health and immunity. So you want to follow an anti-inflammatory, healthful diet and lifestyle, which will help modulate immunity, de-stress, lower your inflammation, which will prepare your body to fight off disease, COVID-19 included. So all of these inflammatory diseases or disease in general, it will help to fight off disease. So then how often should you fast? So it's recommended that you do it once every about 6 months. You can do a 36-hour or a 3-day fast. Or if you have a severe disease, you can do a 7-day fast in conjunction in working together with a health professional. When you come off this fast, you can start with foods that are easily digestible and have a lot of nutrients. So you can come off on fruit and like smoothies, something that's blended that your body can use and has a lot of nutrients. And that will support this coming back to your healthful lifestyle, so that you don't go into refeeding syndrome, which is a lack of potassium and phosphates especially. So vitamin D3 is essential for your immune function. Zinc is also essential, and vitamin C. So those three are important to get. And while you are fasting, you can have as much tea and water as you would like. I would recommend herbal teas. And you can also take Epsom salt baths to get the phosphate and potassium into your body so that you avoid this refeeding syndrome. So yes, I've talked about almost everything that I wanted to talk about. So in closing, focus on a herbivorous, anti-inflammatory, high nutrients, high fluid intake. Get adequate sunshine, vitamin D3, C, and zinc especially. Get some spiritual food as well, meditation. Exercise is also essential, and fluids, either in food form like fruit and vegetables, or in liquid form like in a herbal tea or water. So those are very important points. So if you have any questions, put them down below. Please subscribe, hit the bell, share this around. It really helps people to get good nutritional information. I'll also post the links to some articles down below. And as always, stay healthy, and to God be the glory.